Friends, thank you so much for being here today. I think it has been so heartening just to be together in a room to have this conversation. I hope this convening has put a little bit of wind in your sails, allowed you to find some new friends, some new partners, renewed friendships, inspired you in unconventional ways. If so, then we've done our job. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate your attentiveness, your willingness to engage in this absolutely crucial conversation. We need this conversation in how we mobilize resources to decarbonize our economy, increase climate resilience, and to do so in ways that enhance rather than undermine human development. And that's exactly what we've been able to do here today. We've heard a lot. I'm going to try to quickly summarize some of the key insights that I heard over the course of the day. First, we need a rebalancing among a core set of values, and these are sustainability, affordability, reliability, and security. Because we can walk and chew gum at the same time, we need to do all of those things together. The second thing I heard was energy demand is increasing everywhere, and we need an all-of-the-above approach, including natural gas, which I think for some of us is not a conversation we usually find ourselves in. And so the important thing is, if we are going to meet that rising demand, we need to be able to differentiate in the market the kind of natural gas, one that is addressing the methane question and is doing carbon capture, so that we can reward good behavior in the market, because it's going to be essential to meet these needs. The third thing I heard were lots of areas of consensus on nuclear, on geothermal, on hydrogen, on carbon capture and storage, on permitting reform, perhaps on fusion, and to clearly address the supply chain challenges that we all will face in order to facilitate this transition. And then finally, the fourth thing that I heard was the need to build durable, bipartisan legislative coalitions that can reduce the volatility and uncertainty that we are all facing right now. The volatility ultimately will change, and we need to be ready at that time to move forward. And I think some of the conversation we've had here today will allow us to do just that. And there's part of me that was thinking we need to move from the drill baby drill cry to the build baby build cry, right? Can we switch that narrative and try to figure out ways for us to actually build things in this country that lead us into the transition that we all want? I want to wind up my comments and talk a little bit about what we as Duke University are and want to do in this space as we conclude today. Now, it's no secret that universities are currently under threat or under attack. I mean, you can just read the headlines about what's been happening to Harvard, to Columbia, to Brown University, and today to Northwestern and Cornell. The value that we bring to society is being questioned. And I think that we demonstrated today, once again, that the value that we do bring to society when we put knowledge and science in the service of society. You know, universities are trusted hubs for scientific inquiry, for countering misinformation. We drive evidence-based policy. We foster collaboration. We prioritize education. And we convene essential conversations, much like the conversation that we had here today. And we want to be doing this in partnership with you. This is our Duke climate commitment in action. And we invite all of us to be part of the solution. So in addition to some truly spectacular speakers and insights from friends today, you also heard from some of our faculty and staff about some of the amazing work that we are doing. On international climate, energy transition and finance, the Duke Nicholas Institute and the James E. Roger Energy Access Project are pursuing a program of work under our Just Energy Transitions Lab. That's under the leadership of Jackson Ewing, who is here today, as well as Jonathan Phillips. And Jonathan, I don't know if you're still here. This lab collaborates with international partners to build capacities, determine and fill research gaps, and bring capital providers together with energy transition leaders in low and middle income countries. With ongoing efforts in East Africa, as well as Southeast Asia and South Asia, the work of the JET Lab is expanding and poised for further growth and impact. On technology, you heard today about some of the challenges posed and the opportunities presented when we think about our AI infrastructure and the need to simultaneously pursue energy, climate, and technology solutions together. To this end, we were able to announce this morning the launch of our Deep Tech at Duke Hub, which will be housed at the Sanford School of Public Policy under the leadership of Ronnie Chatterjee, who is here with us this morning, and David Hoffman, also in the Sanford School. Among other objectives, the Deep Tech at Duke Hub will partner with the Duke Nicholas Institute to drive research and policy engagement, seeking solutions at this intersection between AI, energy, and climate. And I think we heard today several times about this recent Nicholas Institute paper on responding to load growth demand through increasing grid flexibility. And that we've really gotten a lot of early traction on that, yielding a congressional testimony, and you heard many people mention it today. You know, we're getting a lot of buzz on that one. So playing a leadership role in that already. This new hub is but one area within a broader umbrella of work that we are doing here at Duke University on climate finance and policy. It is a very big tent effort that we are engaged in here at Duke on climate finance and policy. It covers much of what we talked about today, including more catalytic public funding and incentives in the United States, multilateral blended finance instruments internationally, on-the-ground work in developing countries, insurance industry reform, carbon market mechanisms as a growing funding source, nature-based finance solutions, and so much more. If you would like to be part of these efforts, and I think we hinted at this just in the earlier session, the efforts that we have on our climate finance and policy, or more specifically, part of the JET Lab work that we're doing or the Deep Tech Hub, we are actively looking for thought partners and funders, financial supporters to help us. Because of the current administrative environment, financing for these initiatives is going to be much harder to find. I think we're all going to face that. And we want to press forward on this important work, and we'd like to do that in partnership with you. These are but a few examples of the work that we are doing here at Duke under our Duke Climate effort. Climate change is clearly not going away. In fact, it's only getting more urgent, as we just heard. There are going to be many places where climate work is going to be difficult to carry out in the future. But Duke University will not be one of these places. We will carry on with our climate commitment, and we are eager to do so. We aim to educate the next generation of climate-fluent leaders who will be our workforce of the future. We are providing path-breaking research to mitigate and adapt to the challenges that we face. We walk the walk through our own operational investments, including becoming carbon neutral last year. And we convene thought leaders like you so that we can come together to imagine a better world. You know, how lucky are we that we get to do this work? So billions to trillions is a nice expression of all of this in terms of how it comes together. It's research, it's education, it's convening. And we want to carry this momentum forward that we accomplished today into the work of tomorrow and establish a working agenda that flows from everything that we did here today. So we look forward to continuing to engage with you, whether you're here at Duke, or whether you meet us in our offices in Washington, D.C., or if we get to see you at London Climate Week, or we get to see you at New York Climate Week, or at COP30 in Brazil. We want to connect. The highest order goals for us as we move forward are to maintain the current momentum in our energy and climate transition. We need to create a safer, healthier, more secure, and resilient world for all. And we need to keep a clear line of sight on what is and is not possible in our current operating environment. The work we did here today reminds us that none of us can do this alone. So thank you very much for coming, and let's get to work. Thank you.